My name is Yas. I was born in 1968 and I'm 57 years old. 5. Is it so hard for men in Japan to approach women on the street or in bar? One thing that often surprises Americans about Japanese dating culture is this. Japanese men often do not approach women, even on the street or in bar. In American, of course, it depends on the person and the situation, but in bar cafes or even on the street, casual conversation can sometimes begin naturally. Nice outfit. Where are you from? Would you like to grab a drink? Not even approach is welcomed, of course. But in American culture, these lines can exist at the beginning of a conversation. In Japan, however, approaching a woman you do not know is viewed much more carefully. This is especially true on the street, in front of a station, in a shopping street, outside a cafe, near a conversation store, or on the way home from the gym. If a man suddenly talks to a woman, it may not be seen as casual conversation. It can be seen as nampa nuisance behavior or a suspicious approach. One reason is that public spaces in Japan are not usually seen as place for meeting strangers. A woman walking down the street is not necessarily looking to meet someone. She may be going to work. She may be shopping. She may be going home. She may be trying to catch a train. When a man suddenly enters that moment, he may be interrupting her schedule, her personal space, and her sense of safety. The man may think he is just starting a conversation, but from the woman's side, she does not know who he is. What if he gets angry when she says no? What if he follows her? What if people around them are watching? What if the situation became embarrassing? What if the situation becomes embarrassing? Even a short approach can become a burden. The same thing can happen in bars and small drinking places. In an American bar, talking casually to the person next to you can sometimes feel natural. But in Japanese izakaya, small neighborhood bars, the boundary between seats is often very clear. A woman drinking alone is using that time for herself. A woman drinking with friends is there to enjoy that conversation. If a man she doesn't know suddenly enters that space, it may feel like he is talking over her time. This is especially true in small bars where people sit close together and there is not much room to escape. The food and drink may still be on the table. Her bag may be on the sheet. If the stand up and leaves, everyone notices. The bartender and other customers may also be watching. In that kind of space, being approached can put pressure on the woman because even refuse can feel difficult. This is the part that may be hard for Americans to understand. Americans might think if she doesn't like, she can just say no. But in Japan, the person who says no also has to think about the atmosphere. If she clearly rejects him, the situation may become awkward. He may feel embarrassed. The mood of the bar may change. So some women may smile politely or give short answers just to get through the situation. The man may think she is talking to me, but the woman may be talking, I want this conversation to end, and the gap can easily happen. That is why Japan, both on the street and in bar, not approaching someone can sometimes be seen as good manners. A woman having a good time at the bar is not necessarily sending a signal to you. A woman walking alone is not necessarily waiting to be approached. Even eye contact does not always mean the beginning of romance. Of course, naturally, conversations do happen in Japan. In a small bar, the owner may introduce people naturally. Someone may count laundry on the same dish. People may laugh together while watching baseball or the news on TV. In that kind of relaxed atmosphere, a conversation can begin softly. But in Japan, it's important not to step too far into someone's personal space too quickly. Asking her name, age, where she lives, whether she has a boyfriend or asked for her contact information too soon can make her feel uncomfortable. It may feel less like a conversation and more like to pleasure. Japanese men often find it hard to approach women not only because they are seen. They may not want to bother her. They may not want to scare her. They may not want to make her feel forced to say. They may not want to disturb the atmosphere around them. From an American point of view, Japanese dating culture may seem too quiet, But in Japan, before romance being this it of a strong concert, not invading to other personal space. A woman's time walking through the city, a woman's time having a drink bar, a woman's time talking with her friends. Japanese men often think carefully about where they have to write to other Japanese space. That is why in Japanese street and bar nothing of happens, even if he sits next to her, even if their eyes meet, even if he is interested. He may still say nothing. That silence is not only a lack to confidence, it can also be a form of distance meant to protect the other person's sense of safety. Thank you. Sayonara. Bye bye.